Tim Salvitti here from Insomniac Games, and we're at the ESL Studios in Burbank, and we're going to learn some tips and tricks for you to get a competitive edge in the VR Challenger League. The Unspoken is a 1v1 Magician's Duel game set in secret locations across Chicago. The game is made up of 5 classes. Each class looks and plays differently. They all have 3 gesture spells, but they're different per class. So you're going to want to learn what each of those gesture spells are and how to use them in the duel. Each class has a primal ability and a hand shield. The Anarchist, Kineticist, and Drifter, their primal abilities will auto-target slightly, so you can curve them around objects. For example, the primal ability for the Anarchist is a fireball, whereas the Blackjack, it's the spectral knives. And the knives don't auto-target like some of the other primals. It's a class that a lot of our advanced players like to use because you can get better shots off and time your shots better. If you're not good at throwing, you're not going to probably want to pick an Anarchist. You're going to probably want to pick an Electromancer or a Blackjack because you can aim their shots better. Same with the Drifter. A Drifter is a slingshot is his primal ability. It's a little easier to use than throwing sometimes. However, a lot of our early players will gravitate towards the Anarchist because it is the first class you learn in the game. The key is to try all the classes. You're going to want to learn their abilities, when to use their gesture spells, what you can do with their primals. You can reflect your opponent's primals with your hand shield as well. When you reflect it back to your opponent, if you get it more centered on the shield, it's going to go straight back to your opponent and do damage to them. One match is 3 rounds. And in the first round, the arena is a certain way. In the second round, it will escalate, either bring in new pillars, new cover will show up, new weather effects will come in and distract players, as well as there's a summon orb that pops up in rounds 2 and 3 that doesn't pop up in round 1. Each arena has its own arena summons, and it's unique to that arena. So if you happen to get the arena summon in Elmhurst Avenue, it's a trash golem that comes up and he'll walk around and smash your opponent's pillars. And if you're on Lockport Bridge, it's the Ice Wraith, and he essentially will target where your opponent is, and if he gets him, he'll freeze him, and you can do a lot of damage when they're frozen to the pillar. On top of the arena summons, each arena has different pillar setups. Some are larger, some are smaller, some have pillars that pop up only post-escalation, so knowing the arena layout is also key. One of the keys to every battle is controlling the battlefield and knowing where your opponent's going to teleport and using that to your advantage. Because if you can force your opponent to go where you want them to go, you can hit them with the bigger spells. So battlefield control, ember control, that's very important. The artifact loadout allows you to have 3 of any artifact. You can only use 1 of each at a time in VR Challenger League. They're all about channeling your opponent to specific locations, or for example, the spear does a lot of damage or breaks shields, but you're going to want to use it at timely moments because you don't want to waste it when you know your opponent can teleport. A lot of the artifact spells have audio cues. For example, when you're doing the Spear Forge, you can hear how many hits they're doing. Top players will use that to their advantage against lower level players. They will tap it a couple times and then wait. So they think, oh, they're going to throw a spear at me, I'm going to teleport. So they teleport and they didn't actually throw it, and then they throw it because you have a cooldown in your teleport. Using the audio cues to your advantage is key. It's almost as key as the visual. So another one of our artifacts is called the Infernal Contract, and what this does is once you sign the contract, you lose a percentage of your health, but you gain embers. When you use it is key because it's a percentage of your health. So if you use it at the start of the match, you're going to lose a larger chunk of health than if it's down near the end of the match. We do our best to balance the game, but there isn't really any hard counters to each class. With 5 classes, multiple artifacts, multiple arenas, different summons per arena, there's just a lot you can learn, and learning each class is very important to mastering this game. We just scratched the surface of the tips and tricks in this game. There's a lot more out there. We haven't even learned them all. We're learning daily from you guys. So we want to see your favorite tips and tricks. Send them to our Twitter, Facebook, at Insomniac Games, at the Unspoken VR. Join our Discord, there's a link on our website, and show us what you got because we want to see it. Don't forget to sign up for VR Challenger League today. Who knows, we might see you in the grand finals.